Hey guys, what's up? Caleb Downing here, and today we're not talking about the pistol, it's a great pistol, but we're talking about the new Osight, the SE model in green. Let's get into it. All right, so Osight has been coming out with stuff, hand over fist, left over right, however you want to say it. They have little red dots like this guy, the RMSc footprint, and they also have larger ones. I had it sitting out a second ago, and now I'm not gonna be able to find it. That's why I need to clean my desk. Other optics, like this fella here, this is the XR, fully enclosed RMR footprint optic. They're coming out with some awesome stuff, and this is the newest addition to the family, as it were. Like I said just a second ago, this is the Osight SE, but this time it's in green, multi-dot reticle stuff. So let's look at it real quick, go over some specs, show you some range footage, and give my 2 cents on it. All right, before we really get into all that, I do need to say, Osight did send this thing out for me, right? I get to keep it, say what I want to say, do what I want to do with it. They just want to get this thing out there and let people know what they've got going on, all right? So unboxing experience is the same as pretty much all their other optics, I think, pretty much. Some of them are magnetically opened and closed. It really doesn't matter. But it comes in the little package. You have your user manual, which is worth looking at sometimes because they have some interesting controls sometimes. They also have this little guy right here that has all your important hardware. Something to note, they actually do give you a couple extra screws here for the battery tray hidden under that sticker there. That's really handy. Some companies don't do that. Some people would say, well, the screw shouldn't come out by itself anyway, or whatever. They have excuses. People know this stuff happens, and I've had it happen to me where the screws have somehow come loose, not on Osight's, but on some other optics, where the screws come loose and fall out, and now you're just out of luck, because good luck trying to find that screw or wait a week or two or however long it takes to get a replacement, if they'll even send you one or if there's one available. They go ahead and send you 2 of them. So that is really cool. You also have your tool that they give you here for windage elevation and mounting the actual optic. And I'm gonna hit it just like every single time I do on these optic review overview things. They give you your mounting hardware in very nicely labeled little boxes that are secure. They're not gonna lose these things like, you know, just little baggies bouncing around in your range box or whatever. Good screws. I have not had any problems with their screws. I think their screws are fine. And I like how they're labeled, and they give you plenty of each one. So they do also give you your little mounting card, your instructions, which give you your torque specs. Now they give you a tool, like I just pointed at, for mounting your optic. You will not be able to get torque specs because they're not going to give you a Torx bar. Those are expensive. I like to use, I have it put away, but I like to use Fix-It sticks. Fantastic tool to have for mounting optics if you're doing that a lot, or any other real accessories and things like that. That's a great investment. Buy once, cry once, and then you can properly torque these things to spec, because what needs to be said is that if you just give it the old oomph when you mount these things, you could over torque it, and then under stress you bust the head off, the head of the screw busts off, and it has happened, right? If you just give it that good big oomph. They already come pre-Loctite. I generally like to put a drop of Loctite on it myself, but I have not had these things come loose from their pre-Loctite stuff. So I know it sounds like I'm just oodling and oddling, but I really do appreciate the attention to detail that they put in these things, all right? What stands out differently about the SE in green is it is fully enclosed. This is something to note. Fantastic if you're actually going to use this for serious applications, which I carry one of these, so I consider it that. But since it's fully enclosed, you're not going to get dust and lint, belly button fuzz, water, rain, snow, or anything inside your optic. And if you get stuff on your optic, you can just wipe off the front or rear lens. That is great. That should be pretty much a standard going forward. It has been fantastic. I did not do any drop testing on this specific optic. I have done it on other optics that are very similar to this and this enclosed system that they have. And the one time I got it to fail, as far as like fracturing or compromising, let's say that, compromising the seal on the glass, it actually still held 0. Even though water got inside, it still held 0 and it still fired. Again, that's personal testimony of what I've put these optics through and what they continue to do and why I continue to quote unquote endorse them. Like, I think it's a good quality option to look at. All right. Since this is a multi-reticle, do they have it in the instructions? They have it on the label here. They have a 2 MOA and a 32 MOA circle. So 2 MOA dot, which I think is fantastic, perfectly acceptable, a great option for just having the little dot. A 32 MOA circle If you put it on a rifle, or if you're the kind of person that wants to maybe put this on a shotgun, which you could, having that big circle, that's where I would use that for. If I'm going to stick this thing on just a regular rifle or on a pistol, I prefer just having the dot. But it's nice having that option, specifically, like I said, if you're going to put it on a shotgun, or if you just like to have that big overall optic out there, right? That dot. I like the little dot, but it's nice to have the options. Something that is interesting, this does not give you, confirm that, yeah, this does not give you the battery check as far as you can push the plus and minus, and it'll give you the little LED indicator. On their rechargeable versions, you do have that. It's the little teeny tiny LED is located in between the plus and minus button. This does not have that because this does not have the rechargeable hood. This is not the rechargeable version. This one comes with a battery. I think it's a 1632, if I'm not mistaken. It comes with the battery, so you'll know. But it comes on that little battery tray. You'll have to take the battery tray out and pull out the little yellow sticker thing that keeps it from, dying while it's in transit, or if it sits on a shelf for a while, so you have a fresh battery when you get this thing. But the only way to know if the battery is going out is if it blinks at you, which, given their battery life, in my experience, change it out once a year, you're probably going to be fine. Let's hit some specs real quick and we will be done. All right, so your major specs, it's made out of 7075 T6 aluminum. It has a 1 meter drop rating, and it's IPX7 rated for waterproofness. Your battery levels, since this is not a rechargeable version, your battery levels as a circle dot, so all the dots going on, is 66,000 hours, and that is on mode 3. Which is, well, mode 3, so your brightness setting, mode 3. If you have it just the dot itself, you're at 100,000 hours, okay? And then if you're at just the circle, not the circle and the dot, you're at 69,500 hours. Basically, it's a long time. That's what I'm saying. If you change this battery out once a year, you're going to be more than sufficient, more than fine. Changing out modes, obviously your brightness is located on the side. You have 2 buttons, very simplistic. If you hold down, make sure I say this thing right, if you hold down both the plus and minus buttons, you'll turn the optic off. Let's say you're going to be in transit somewhere, you're traveling, whatever, and you just want to turn the optic off, then you can turn that optic off that way. If you want to turn on motion sensing or turn off motion sensing, I've never had a problem with motion sensing being an issue, right, to where it's off, and I grab the gun and I point it, and then it takes a second for the optic to come on. I've never had that problem. It's like instantaneous. You will never beat the gun or beat the optic to coming on, right? Hopefully you know what I'm saying. You won't even notice it. So I don't have an issue with that. But if you wanted to turn that off, you're going to double click and hold the minus button for 3 seconds, and that will turn it off, or it will turn it on. If you want to change the optic, the reticle, if you want to change the reticle, you're going to hold down, you're not going to double click, you're going to hold down the minus button for 3 seconds, and then it will change your different reticles, right? Your circle, circle dot, or your dot by itself. That's pretty much the main features of turning this thing on. If you did happen to turn this thing off, right, in transit, then to turn it back on, you just hit the plus button. Pretty simple, straightforward. You're not going to accidentally hit that button. It's not obtruding outside the optic, and you're going to have problems. Never had problems. I appendix carry. I've never had problems with my belt or my holster or my fat belly or whatever pushing buttons. It just doesn't happen on these optics for me. So anyway, guys, that is a quick down and dirty look at the new SE in green from Osight. I can't speak highly enough of them. I have found that they have operated and functioned as well as, and if not better than, optics that are in a higher class. These are around the $200 figure, realm that's out there. They go on sales from time to time. You can pick them up different places from time to time. I believe I have an affiliate link down below. It might save you money. It gives me a kickback, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to check these out, right, whether you do it for me or not, no skin off my nose. That's not how I try to make money. If you want to check these out, I think it's a serious, viable option for people to look at. Like I said before, they have RMSc versions like this one. They have larger RMR footprint versions, and they've got multiple variations in between as far as size, fully enclosed, not fully enclosed, rechargeable, or traditional battery for people that like traditional batteries. All right, guys, so there you go. I rambled on for far too long in this little overview demo. I have not had any function problems with mine. I'm going to continue using it, not only on this host, but on different hosts, and just run it until it breaks. And that will probably be in a very, very long time. It's going to take it a while because I haven't broken one under normal uses unless I actually dropped this thing on rocks. And in that case, like I said before, the one time I did that and I broke it, it kept working and it held 0 and it kept working. So again, seriously consider these if you're in the market for a, I don't like to call it budget because it seems to devalue what it is. For a quality, I would say a quality mid-range optic that outperforms other optics in its class. That's what I would say. That's not a clear way to say it, but that's what I would say. That's been my experience with these things. All right, enough of that rambling on about it. Let me know what you guys think about Osight. You can throw in Olight there if you want to, but Osight in general, how many of you guys actually have experience with these, good and bad? Let's spread the word about it. If you have a bad situation, a bad experience, yeah, share it. First-hand experiences. I don't need to hear about your second, third cousins, friends, boyfriends, whatever. If you've had an issue, let's talk about it. If you haven't had an issue and you have great experience like I've had, then let's share that too, because we need to hear both sides of the coin, all right? Y'all be good, be safe. I appreciate you guys. That's it. All right, take care, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.